All right, guys, welcome to Empower League's team call for September 27th. I'm not going to spend any time going over anything because I've been updating you and the team page about Clean Week and all that, and I plan to go live with some ideas about that for you too. But I just really want to give Kelli the time to kind of go over the process of creating an avatar with you guys tonight. I don't even know, Kelli. I feel like 3 years ago, probably we found that link from who was it? Katie Hefner on the Bombshell Dynasty, and she talked about creating an avatar, like having a really clear idea of like who you're speaking to in your social media posts, and like to be able to look at and reference that avatar when you're creating your content. So I asked Kelli if she'd hop on here tonight and share with us because I feel like she's kind of the guru of this. And she and Laura both just recently made brand new avatars and they're just amazing. So I think it'll be really helpful, especially, I mean, I can say that this happens to me as well, less frequently now, but as you change and as you grow and as you develop, you know, who you're speaking to is going to change a little bit too. But sometimes you're kind of like, I need to make a post and you're like, I don't know what to say, or like I could say 70 different things, or I don't have it, like I have no idea who I should talk to or what I should talk about. And I think that this will be a really good tool for you to have to look at and think like, is what I'm sharing speaking to the people that I'm trying to reach and connect with? So Kelli, if you please want to talk about how you actually create your kick-ass avatars. We would love that.
Hey guys, so I have to admit this has been something that has been like a long time coming again. I did one, like Dana said, forever ago, and I mean, it wasn't half-assed in the sense that like I spent a lot of time writing down everything about my person, but like it was all written down on like a piece of paper, and I put it on my bulletin board, and I never ever gave her a name, or like she had a name, but like she didn't have a picture or anything like that. And like Dana said, everyone changes so much in this business that it's so important to reevaluate and to hone in on who you are. I personally, guys, like this is super special to me right now, actually, because I feel like I'm going through like a big transformation as far as like just becoming more self-aware and knowing who my people are and knowing that I have people and being confident in that. Because I asked Dana, like for forever, I was like, is there anyone honestly even like me? Like who, who is it? Who are my people? Like, are my people like people that got, pregnant outside of marriage? Or like, are they people that are kind of crazy? Are they travelers? Like, do travelers and mom coexist? Like, I was super lost as far as like who I was talking to for a really long time. So I know this is going to sound like a little bit like, okay, but I feel like the first thing, honestly, you have to do is go into this exercise with a little bit, like, almost don't expect to come up with it. Like, just go into it with a clear mind and like try to quiet all of the things, because we're so consumed sometimes with what's going on around us that like we can't even take the time to figure out like who the hell we are, right? So I mean, for me, it was, okay, I'm going to figure out like who my person is. If you meditate, I would do that just to like clear your head, 5 minutes, whatever. And then journal it out. Like just start jotting down things that aren't going to make sense, whatever, you can make sense of it later. And then later you could put together all the pieces, right? But like the first thing that I think that we need to do when we're doing this is just be able to journal out all the pieces that are kind of coming into our minds when we're thinking about who we are, where we came from, what our story is, what we like, what we dislike. Some of the big things that really helped me this time around, honestly, Instagram was a game changer, I feel like, for me, just because I've been using Instagram a lot for myself. Like I've been like looking at different like astrological things or hairstyles, or I mean everything, quotes, courage for my group, whatever. So I found a few accounts on Instagram that I love that are about like moms that hike, like Children of the Mountains is an awesome one that I love. Don't steal that one from me, just kidding. But just finding like your people on Instagram and then seeing like I guess it kind of confirmed for me that they were out there, because I was like, oh, here are these moms that love to hike and they love freedom and they also are super spiritual and they like crystals and they're reading Gabby Bernstein's book about, you know, the universe has your back. So like they're there. But if you think about what you would search if this wasn't in the picture, like what would you be interested in? Is that like a hairstyle, or like are you wanting to figure out like how to make your own whatever kind of soup, or whatever those things are, your pet, like where would you go get your, I don't know, go on vacation. Vacations are a good one. So just anything that you would search without being prompted to do this activity is going to kind of trigger things in your mind that your avatar would like. Another thing that I feel like is huge with this is thinking about, sorry, my husband walked by and I just totally blanked for a second there. Thinking about where your, so just all your avatars likes, right? Like the first things that we're going to think about is like what they like. And that's what I was kind of talking you through, like different things that you would search on your own. And then so I'm just going through the easy ones first. Like you can write through all your likes. Hold on. They weren't doing this. Oh, sorry. Okay. All your likes, what would you be searching for if you weren't like doing this activity? And then like what things do you dislike is another one. Oh, I know what I was going to say before my husband walked by. Think like the more specific and eclectic, the better. Because like that's when you're going to get the people that are like, holy shit, I like that thing too. That's so random. I love that thing, you know? So just be weird, like be your weirdest self, honestly, is how I went into it this time. I'm like, okay, I like these things. Like you can get a specific, I realized today when I was doing a Facebook ad, as like the specific stone that you're like into right now, which is crazy. Like you don't have to even put like crystals. It could be like moonstone, which is nuts to me. And it's still like 50,000 people. So whatever you're going through, your people are, you can do horoscopes. I'm kind of like random right now, but like horoscopes on Instagram are another thing. Like you're a Leo, whatever, like me. So likes, dislikes, eclectic, the better for sure. And there are going to be people that like those eclectic things too. All of your hobbies. And again, like think through things that you like to do, right? Like, and think about the old you, like the child you, I feel like is good, because the child you is like that feeling where you get it and you're like, oh my gosh, I used to love doing that. You know, like it's just so comforting. And that's going to really encourage people to want to reach out to you. Like, for example, one of mine was shell searching. Like, oh my God, that was my favorite. And anyone that I ever see that goes or lives in Sanibel and went shell searching, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to talk to you. And I really feel that way, you know? So anything that is from your past, anything that you've always wanted to do, like I've always wanted to go on a hot air balloon, you know, like, so think outside of the box so that you can really attach to these people that have these specific interests. And then what else? Things that you've wanted to learn how to do are good. Like always have wanted to learn to do XYZ, or like wish I was better at creative writing, or really loves taking pictures and want a nice camera. Like if I write down I really want a nice camera, then I can talk to all these people that have nice cameras and see how they like them. You know, like things like that. You can connect with people that have things that you want to purchase. So let's see. So that's what I mean, when I say you're journaling about all of these things, you can use all these things as prompts and then kind of start like pinpointing like what things you could really attach to. Another thing that I thought about are my favorite places, or favorite places that I've been, or just favorite experiences in general. Again, because like that invokes emotion in you, so it's going to evoke emotion in someone else. Like I took a Grand Canyon helicopter ride. Like if someone else did that, that'd be so cool. I'd love to talk to that person, you know? So think about experiences like that. So some of mine are just super random, right? Like sunflowers, day trips with my kid. And you can be location specific if you want to, but you don't have to be. Or again, like use places you've already been and you loved, or places that you've already wanted to go. I use like some smells that I'm really obsessed with, like coconut and rose. And then think through like things that, again, you like to do, but maybe ways to take that further, like ways you like to treat yourself. Like, how do you pamper yourself? Like, where do you want to go on a date night? Like, what kind of style are you around the house, and what kind of style are you when you go out? Like, what do you normally wear? What kind of brands are you into? Again, like, what pages do you follow, or would you follow if you weren't a Beachbody coach? Like, I had someone last night that I had reached out to and asked her if she's a coach on Instagram. And she was like, no, I'm not a coach, but I always love following other bloggers to like see what they're into. So think about that. Like, other people like her who are like, oh, I want to follow a blogger, but like, what kind? Like, what kind would you want to follow? Let's see. What you like to do for fun with your husband, what you like to do for fun with your family. Another thing I thought was really cool to think about that Laura mentioned is your relationship with friends in your past. So for me, I always did have a hard time building friendships. Like, my friends were always guys. I like never wanted to be super emotional. Like, I didn't like taking my walls down, you know? So, and then like, why? So, and that's another thing that you can like really, really think about, right? When you're when you're saying like, oh, okay, I didn't have any friends that were guys or girls, whatever. Then why? Why was that? What was the feeling behind that? Like, what shaped me into that? Because again, like, those are things that people are going to be able to relate to. Let's see. And then alongside friends, like for me, I wrote trouble admitting that they need help, which was huge for me and would be huge for people when they're wanting to get started. Cause like, I just ignored Dana for forever. Cause I was like, oh, I'm good. I don't need a group or whatever that is, you know, but like, your people are going to need like more push if that's you too. Right. So then the biggest thing, and then I'll go into like a couple more side things to think about too. But the biggest thing really correlates to your story. So you've done your journaling, you know, like where you're coming, you know where you came from, but like, what are your problems? Like, what were your problems when you were getting started, right? And then how do you, like, you think through like how you're having a solution now when you're talking to that person. But again, right, I actually had two different sections between problems and pain points. I don't know if they're two different things or not, but whatever. So I had problems as in like everything. And that goes from health and fitness side to the coaching side too. So for me, I mean, I was such a crazy like yo-yo diet plan person. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a vegetarian. No, I'm gonna be carb free. Oh, I'm gonna like not eat meat or whatever. So my person doesn't have a plan. She doesn't have any time to work out. So she says she's only ever ran and gone to the gym. So, and she never got results doing those things. So she's not like super excited about spending her time doing those things. Cause like, why would she spend her time doing those things when she has no time as a busy mom? But then like take that further again into like, what other problems were the problems that you had that inspired you to coach? So daycare is expensive. She can't justify time away for the money that she's going to take home. And then this is kind of, and think through all your problems, you know, like, like all your problems. But I mean that, like, don't think about it just in the Beachbody sense, because then it's going to get like, it's going to get into your head and you're going to overthink it. Like, just start thinking about problems in general. Like, for me, I was so big with coping mechanisms. I always was. Like, I always tried to, you know, drink wine, smoke, like go out and party, you know, boys, whatever. So like all of those things are, if people are coping using my things, like we can relate off of that. And because I was coping and not handling my feelings and my emotions, I never had time to figure out who the hell I was. So I was lost as shit when I became a new mom. So that ties into my identity. Like I had no idea who I was. And I was just classifying myself as mom, because that's all, you know, that I really knew. I never had time to figure that shit out, sort all my things out. So that was a big one for me. But, and then thinking through again, like just your pain points in general, like not confident, full of self-doubt, like feel super insecure in a room. Like I used to just like chug a ton of coffee when I'd go into any public situation, because I just thought like, I don't know, it's going to make me like feel better. You know, just like things that are kind of like painful for you that like hit you hard. Like even if like you're doing your journaling and you're thinking just like pain points, like things from your past that like kind of make you cringe, you know, like how you felt it like didn't feel good on the beach in a swimsuit, or like, you know, I like always wore my shorts because like I was just weird and didn't like my upper like thigh. So I just like unbuttoned them weirdly, like just things like that. Like the more specific, the better. And then just a couple more things about, other things to think about. So pages you would follow, I already said. The tone that like your person even likes to be talked to in, or how you would talk to your person, how you like to be talked to. The language as far as verbiage, like does she curse, does she not, like is she cool with that, does she say like a lot like me, whatever it is, that's fine, but just relate to your person in that way. What's her vibe? And I think this is a huge one too. What are her objections? Because I mean, objections are huge. Like again, when I was saying I was super skeptical and I didn't want to admit I needed help. Like, okay, my person's gonna have to see a post a million more times because they are skeptical and they don't want to admit they need help. You know, so if you're thinking through the objections, you're gonna know how many times you're gonna talk to them, or how you're gonna talk to them, or what's gonna speak to them. What would encourage them to sign up, and even like the style of how they would like to sign up. Like, do they want to just like fill out a form because they don't want anyone to know that they want to do it? Like, are they going to actually message you? Like, are they going to comment with their email address? Like, where is their comfort level with that? And then this is what really used to always trip me up. I don't know why, because now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, why did that trip me up? I don't get it. But when your person that you want to work with can have some of your old traits, like your problems and your pain points, but can be new as far as like your interests and your likes and your dislikes. So like, don't be afraid to mesh the two. And you're almost kind of, I mean, that means you're almost talking to the person now, right? Because like my problems didn't change. Those were my problems and they're still my problems, but now I have all of these interests and I have all of these solutions, and I know I'm more self-aware, so I can jot them all down, right? So you're talking to you. So when you're writing all this down, I think that's one thing that always just like used to get in my head. Like, am I talking to this like person that had no idea and she was so lost and she's broke and she has $14? Am I talking to me now? But you're talking, you know, like that's a tricky one because $14 people are like rare that they would be self-motivated like that. But yeah, so it's okay to kind of take different things from each version of yourself. Pages to follow, sign up before and after me. Okay. And then another thing that really helped me, and then think through even like books maybe that you would read as far as growth. Like if you weren't on a journey, for me, they're spiritual right now. Like I'm reading a lot of spiritual books that aren't necessarily related to the business, but that's how I'm finding a lot of people because we're really able to connect on that. And then like foods, even like good foods are another thing, but just make like just a big brain dump list of things that you like that are super specific, right? And experiences, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's what I did for that. And then today I got like super wild. I'm like stoked on this. It's not even that big of a deal. But, so I put it in a form like this. So it has problems, pain points, specific favorite places and experiences, likes, personal qualities. Sorry, I forgot that one. Personal qualities. So it's wanderlust, spontaneous, determined, spiritual, intuitive, adventurous, unconventional, dreamer, passionate, romantic. I wrote spontaneous twice, so I feel like that means something. And then up at the top, I forgot to talk about this too, actually. I wrote my vision. Which we don't normally talk about with our avatars, but I think is really a cool idea. So like, what does your person want? Because I realize that like we want to move back to Hawaii, and a lot of people that want to move to Hawaii are really similar to me. So I'm really like latching on to that, like living in Hawaii, a lush area with a garden overlooking the ocean, has an airstream, like can take road trips with the family. Alongside Beachbody, she has a book and, you know, like different things. What do you value? Deep connection and fulfilling relationship in my marriage. Like think about what that vision is, because the people that want that are going to be your people too, for sure. And then, so anyways, I took this in. I got it all printed off. I did it on Canva. I can give you guys like the layout that I used. And I did this like really intense lamination, the like super thick one. And I put the pictures on the back. I'm like so professional right now. So I liked putting multiple pictures of the same chick because I feel like she shows like all my sides. Like this was so me in Hawaii and like kind of goofy over here. And like she has her baby hiking mountains and like the ocean. So, you know, I thought that was cool to kind of like be able to see all the different sides of her that are actually you, right? So anyway, I know I talked really fast, but if you have any questions, for sure, let me know.
I love it. I took an entire page of notes. And you honestly should write a blog on this because you would crush Katie Hefner's. No offense. Hers was great. You nailed it with the in-depthness of it. I was going to say one thing that came to my mind is when you're thinking of all these ideas, to like not judge yourself for what comes up for you.
Oh my God, that is so huge. And I was actually saying that today. I was like, I feel like, because I was talking to another girl on the team, like, I feel like the problem was before is that I was afraid that no people could possibly be into spirituality and also curse a lot or whatever it is, you know, like, oh my gosh, like whatever, like your most embarrassing things or shame-filled things are the things that people are going to really relate to you on, for sure. Like that was, yeah, huge. Good point.
Well, because I know for the longest time ever, like honestly, in so many scenarios, like it's like when you go to the doctor and you fill something out and you're like, I'm just not going to put that because it makes me feel shameful and I don't want them to know. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with this, but like if you really want to connect with the people that are most like you, then it's important to own all of yourself. I think this could be kind of a healing exercise too. Does anybody have questions for Kelli?
Yes. Kelli, how are you working this more like, say, with Facebook, right? So like getting away from Instagram, like you're just, when you're writing out your words and your post, like you have that person in mind, because I feel like there's two aspects here. There's creating the avatar, and then there's also like we can legit search for our avatar now with Instagram. There's sort of like two things, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I feel like I actually did this activity and I sort of got new life and excitement for Facebook, weirdly. Like the first day I did it, I made that post of myself that was like, I was wearing a black shirt and I was like super serious, and it has like 200 likes and like 40 comments or something. And I was like, holy shit, I probably haven't got that many since I had a child. I don't know. So like for me, I think what I've been doing that's been helping is I've sort of been thinking out in my head, like, okay, and this is something that I have on my list too, to get even more specific with, like more thought out, but like, okay, I want to post like in the morning about my personal development, which for me in the morning has been more spiritual anyway. So it's like, that's a side of me, like my spiritual thing in the morning. Afternoon is like fitness related, and in the evening is like my lifestyle or adventure, right? And if one of those for me is a quote, then I think that's fine, right? But when I'm thinking through, okay, those are my three things, and I want to get more specific as far as like alternating them, and I should probably have like two more. But for example, if those are my three things, right, like I'm thinking about, and I think this is something that's really deters like us from being able to speak to our people, because we think about what we want to share. Like I always would read my personal development and I was like, oh my God, now I'm going to share my personal development. Cool. But now I'm like, okay, now I'm going to share my personal development. But first, and I like check out my thing. And I'm like, okay.
Did you laminate that?
Thing on here, can I relate my personal development too? Like, how can I tie in these things? Why are you guys laughing at me?
Did you laminate
Kelli,
that?
did you put laminate on your likes? You should.
When I asked the guy today, I was like, I have a weird question. Like, can I laminate this? And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay, I just didn't know if anyone laminated anything anymore. But anyway, so
I'll send you guys a link. You can make it into a placemat on Shutterfly too. That sounds like I'm doing that. I'm gonna do this.
It's so nice because my thing was like my kids always destroy things that I spend a lot of time on. So it's like if I laminate it, I'm like, fuck it.
Amazing. Talk about permanent.
Yeah. Well, man, I don't know if that's good, but for now. So anyway, when I'm on Facebook and I want to share something, I'm sharing like after I like literally pick one thing on here to kind of speak to. So that has been really working well for me. And I think, you know, as Facebook has changed and we were like realizing now that it's become a social network and community more, like everything's kind of shifting for everyone. And we're kind of realizing like, okay, we shouldn't accept all of the friends. Like we need to weed out the people that aren't like this. So I'm not mad about where my engagement is on Facebook because I think everyone's going through the transition, and the people that are really engaging with me right now when I'm staring at my avatar are the people that I really want to be on my page, you know? So no, we can't like search out our people as much, but like if you're seeing people pop up out of the woodworks after you make your avatar, like which has been happening to me, like those are my people, you know? So yeah, I don't know if that answered your question. I hope it did.
Hey, Kelly.
Yes.
So I love that you told us how to do it and then how to implement it. That's killer because a lot of people have talked about avatars and anyways. So I like that. But where the hell did you laminate that? Like I know Sari said we can make placemats, but like I've thought about laminating stuff before and I'm like, oh, I'm not a school teacher, so I can't do that.
They do it at Kinko's. They do it.
Yeah, I went to Office Max.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot of money though. How much is it to laminate something?
It was like $3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Because that would be great for your daily checklist too. Like if you went there to laminate that.
I was actually thinking that. I was like, what else can I laminate?
Oh yeah, because you can use a white board marker on that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I like this. Look at.
Wow.
We could have a whole DIY call soon, guys.
Wait, so let me just tell you, when I did this on Canva, I made it in the postcard format because it said that would be easy to print. But when I went there, he was like, that's not a good idea because it's going to be tiny as shit. So just put it in the letter format and then landscape. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it pretty much auto-corrected it for me, but just so you guys know, that's what I did. I just did like a normal letter.
Or you can make that in PowerPoint for anyone here who's not a Canva.
If you're not into Canva, but if you are into Canva, also, I was going to say, I just opened my Canva account at Office Max and just printed it directly from there. He was like, are you going to print for your email? I was like, no, I'm going to be using Canva. Thank you. Okay.
Laminate your life.
Nice.
Wait, that's a hashtag.
Yeah, probably is.
Does anybody else have questions for Kelly? Kelly, I'm curious with your pictures.
Oh yeah, I wanted to actually tell you guys.
Like, how did you decide to go search for your specific person? Like, what she's gonna look like? You searched like interests for that picture?
Well, like, I don't know. For me, at first I was like, oh, pink hair, fun hair. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. I haven't had the same color hair. And like the people that have pink hair, I don't really think they're even me. So like, I don't know. So I decided, like, I told you guys about that Mountain and Children account. But like I basically went through that. So if you have an account of people, if you haven't found a couple accounts yet that have like 30,000, like 15 to 30,000 followers, like you gotta get locked in on that because that's gonna give you a lot of inspiration. But for me, I just went to that account that I loved and then went through all the followers or like all the people featured. That is what I do a lot of times. People featured in the pictures, you know how they'll be like, oh, at so-and-so, whatever. So that's actually like, I just was going through all the featured chicks. And then I saw that this girl had a picture in the mountains and in Hawaii, and she lives in Hawaii. And I was like, yeah, you're the one. So, I mean, I think, but I wanted to say on Instagram, I tried to take a picture of her hand creepily too, because she had a bunch of rings on, and I was like, no, it's a little much. I can't. But anyways, if you go on Instagram, I think that's a really cool spot to find the pictures of your girl. Because at first I was looking on Google and I was like, oh, it's just not working. But Instagram, you know, there's pretty people. You can like be more specific with your searches, all that kind of jazz.
So Kelli, how long did this take you to put all this information together?
So originally it looked like this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I just went through it all, and like, you know, a lot of it was repetitive, honestly. So I just went back in and like put it in the right category. But I would say all in all, aside from the trip to get my pictures laminated, it took about 2 hours. I would say 2 hours, honestly. But I knew that 2 hours was just like so well spent, because like Dana said, I've done this in the past, and I swear, like when I am like looking at this and like really focusing on talking to this person, my posts are so much better. And also I'm just excited. Like I'm having conversations that I want to have. Like sometimes in this business, sorry if you're new, but like it could get like so boring, because like it's just like, oh, you're talking to people, you don't know if you're your people, blah blah blah. It's like getting dull, you don't want to. But if you're talking to your people, then you want to. And like if you're talking to people like, hey, oh my god, you went to a hot air balloon festival, that's so cool, like I want to really know about that, you know. So I think it really helps to narrow it down, so then the whole thing just feels so much more fun and you want to do it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just kind of being so new, this is very helpful to narrow it down and find those people, because obviously I'm throwing darts at this point. Like, oh, do you think you'll join? Do you think you'll join? So this is great.
Right. And honestly, I mean, a couple of us are putting together like some like push to diamond sort of thing. And what like has been on my mind, honestly, ever since I did this is like, I wish I told all my coaches to do this so much sooner. Like for real, was like, show me your thing and laminate that shit. Just kidding. But no, like for real.
Laminate mine tomorrow.
This is huge. It really is. It's going to be so huge, because you're just going to feel excited about what you're doing and have direction. And I think that like not having direction is what is so frustrating a lot of times, like direction and clarity, you know?
Absolutely.
One thing that I just thought about, because it's something I wrote down, and I don't know necessarily if like any of the categories kind of cover it, but like the thought of like work ethic comes to my mind.
Qualities, personal qualities.
Yeah, but like I feel like in my brain, because I'm so focused right now on like getting better at coach opportunity posts, that like I need a separate section for that, because I used to be a huge procrastinator. I was never intentional about anything. Like I want to put those things down and kind of show that those are all me, but like there's different sides of me now, if you know what I mean, like the progression of it, because I think that's important too, is that you can, like you said, be totally one way before and then become a different way. And I know for me, like the cross between the two had to do with having passion about something. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I guess like for me, when I was doing it, was like like the problems kind of encompass like my old qualities, you know, like didn't have a passion. And then my qualities kind of, it was like me now, right? Like, I don't know, that's, I guess how I split it up. But yeah, I mean, that's again, like one of the things that always used to trip me up, but like I could still probably write under my normal personal qualities like chronic procrastinator, you know, like I did actually write unfocused, like so, you know, and my people are going to be struggling with that, and I speak to that a lot when I talk about exercise. So whatever that is, you know, it's like, you know, it's okay to have those qualities for sure.
Hey,
and
Kelli.
like, go ahead.
I hope this isn't inappropriate to say, but I know you and I were talking recently and you were struggling because a lot of people say, speak to the person you were beforehand, but that might not be the person that you necessarily want to attract to your tribe now. So do you think that this avatar is helping you kind of hone in and really target the person that you want to attract now without that other?
Yeah. So, okay, here's the thing. And I like just how you worded it, I feel like just gave me this like whole new insight, but, I guess like what really clicked for me, and I was sharing this today, is I started thinking like, okay, if Beachbody were taken out of the equation totally, who would I want to work with and what impact would I want to make? And like, for me, that has been huge because I'm like, okay, I know exactly what I would want to do. I would want to help people heal. Like, I would want to help people realize they were enough. I would want to help people realize they could be courageous in every aspect of their lives. Like, and that starts with like taking care of themselves, right? So like, and that's why I wrote, and honestly, that's why I wrote my vision on my board, because I wrote, healing concept and established brand, runs worldwide courageous transformative wellness retreats. Like, I would love to do that. Like, I would love to work with people to work through any emotional thing or mindset hangups that they have and help them take their lives and like just totally reset. So for me, that has been just like such a game changer, because it's like, okay, people can come from all different paths and still need what I want to do as far as like helping them like make their mark, right? Or like you can help people in a way that is, it's multiple types of people, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I think just like taking out Beachbody and thinking like, okay, who could I touch? Like, who could I touch with what I have and what I've been through? Like my experiences. Like, you don't have to pick all of your experiences. I actually didn't even write anything about being broke on this whole sheet, which is actually kind of crazy. So I didn't write any of that because I feel like that's actually like what always was holding me back before. Is I was like, what people, honestly, like people like me, like would put $300 on their credit card. Like, it's not that many. And that was my biggest struggle. So I don't know if that helps, but that is like, has been huge for me.
I can totally relate to that, Kelly. I know we've talked about that before, about how do you attract what you want versus like victim mentality. I think what you just said kind of nails it.
And actually, I was listening to something else today. I think it was in that social media builder training, and they said the same thing. It was like, not necessarily in those words, but the chick was like, I don't talk about like how I lost my husband to suicide, because that is going to attract people that are really down. And I don't want to necessarily help those people because that's depressing to me. So like, think about that. Like, you know, like you don't have to go that route, but like you can know like the qualities of your person and how you could impact them. Does that help, Ashley? Okay.
Kelly, is it possible you could take a screenshot or like a snapshot of that and post it?
Yeah, I posted it in my team page, but I'll just share it. I'll share it in Empower to Lead too, for sure. Of my avatar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kelly, will you post it in the comments of the call so that everybody that was tagged will see it?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Does anybody else have questions? Can we make it a call to action that everybody will post it by next Wednesday? Yeah. You don't have to have it laminated by next Wednesday. Unless you want to.
You guys, I have to tell you something really funny, and I haven't told anyone this yet.
Tell us.
I'm the first to know.
You're on recording, right?
No, that's fine.
You know.
I just want to tell like my other coaches in general first. But anyway, today I like had a freak out because I was like, I waste so much time on my phone. I've been wanting to do this for a while. That was a good point, and I forgot to even mention that, Serena, but definitely different music while you're doing this is helpful. And I also put people that I like to listen to on mine. Anyway, so I had a freak out today, and I was like, I waste so much time on my phone. Like, it makes me procrastinate because I'm just like, whatever, I could do it from my phone, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I can't deal with it anymore. I was like, I'm going to just get rid of my smartphone. Like, that's it. So I went to the store and I got rid of my smartphone because I was like, you know what? I have an Instagram thing on my computer. I have time by myself. If I want to use my phone connected to the wireless, I could still use my iPhone. And now I have a GoPro and I could turn it on if I really want the freaking Wi-Fi, right? So I was like, whatever. So I went to the store to go get a flip phone. I was like, hey, guys, I just really need to get a flip phone. Like, I don't. And she was like, why? I was like, I can't with the technology anymore. Like, I'm so over it. I'm done. And she was like, okay, good for you. She literally told me I was an inspiration, by the way. So anyway, she was like, you're such an inspiration. I was like, thank you. Like, I just can't do it anymore. So I got a flip phone today for real. But then I went to get my shit laminated, and I was like, I had my phone and my keys, and like he handed me my thing. And I was like, wow, this is what I said. I was like, wow, God, I am so legit today. I got my shit laminated and I got a flip phone. I am on fire. And he's like looking at me like, you got, like, what the fuck does that even mean? I was like, got a flip phone and I got laminated. I am good to go. It's like, whatever, check.
I am so curious to see a month from now how you feel about it.
I am too, but I mean, I've actually already, she told me, which this is the reason that I like really pulled the trigger, because she's like, you have 1 month left to pay your iPhone. And she's like, so if it goes shitty, like whatever, come back and take it back and reactivate it. And I was like, perfect, I'll take it. We'll see. You know what the weirdest part is having T9.
Is what?
T9. Who knows how to use T9 anymore? Like typing text messages.
Oh God.
So rough. Serena does. I was like, actually sitting there waiting to get my thing printed.
So impressed with you. I'm so impressed with you. I was like the last person to get a smartphone because I only got it because at work they made me. They got me a phone, and I used to be that person, like everyone would make fun of me, and I was like, because I knew once I got a smartphone that I would be addicted, and that's why I write about disconnecting, and I read Hands-Free Mama. You should read Hands-Free Mama. You'll get a lot of like good stuff to share about that.
I know this is like now not related to our call, but honestly, like the last like icing on the cake for me was the other day. Aiden like had a project and I didn't see it, and he like had showed me a bunch of other shit, but he didn't show me the project. And he was like, and then later I was like, Aiden, why didn't you show me the project? And he was like, well, you were on the phone. And I was like, done, I'm done with it, because I know I could. It's not even like, it just broke my heart, and it's like I know I could do. I honestly know I could do way more. Like if I didn't have this, I wouldn't get so distracted. I know I'm now, like, there's literally no doubt in my mind. I'm like, watch me run this business with a flip phone. Like, watch me, like, kill it. Like, whatever. But that's how I feel. So we'll see anyways. But okay, I'm done babbling now.
Rock solid
Wait, that's
boundaries.
so good. How are you gonna do Instagram stories? Like, how are you gonna do?
You can. Well, that's what I was just saying. I can still turn on my phone if I want to and then connect with Wi-Fi to upload.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, it's
And
not even that serious.
I just your stories at night once.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And like, I don't, yeah. Like, I have the only thing.
I can't wait. Kelly, if I didn't have my job right now, I would do the same thing.
I can't wait to post that I got a flip phone tonight to see what everyone says. They're going to be like, have you lost your damn mind?
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Can you just add in there that you got a flip phone and you laminated something?
Best thing I heard all day.
Yes, I will.
That was like yesterday when I was like, I don't have a TV. How am I going to watch Will and Grace? And I was waiting for people to be like, you're crazy. Because people tell me I'm crazy anyway.
Yesterday, I was driving around, and that's when the thing happened. No, the day before is when the thing happened with Aiden. But I was like driving around, and I was like, I said this out loud to myself. I was like, tomorrow, I'm going to dye my hair purple. I'm going to laminate my avatar, and it's going to be done. And I'm going to buy a flip phone. That's it. And I was like, and I think I said that out loud, and I was like, there's honestly something wrong with me, but that's fine. Anyway, the hair's not purple, honestly.
I saw your post last night about saying peace out to it, and I was just like, really?
I posted it.
I thought the same thing. I was like, what does it mean?
I wrote it. I was like, watch me say peace to my phone tomorrow. And then as soon as I wrote it, I was like, wait, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I got to delete that post. What if I change my mind?
Way to follow through.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway.
All right, guys. I can turn the recording off if y'all want to chat, but
I know, I felt bad. I was like, oh, the recording.
Does anybody else have questions for Kelly before I end the recording?
I want to hang out with Kelly right now. I
I'm
saw those brewery pictures, and I'm like, okay, I got to get over there.
Yeah, you should. It's so cool. My friend was like, wow, you have like a really cool friend. She's into health and fitness and she has a brewery. And I was like, I know. I got really hit the jackpot.
So cute. All right, Kelly. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Super helpful. Was this helpful for everybody? You excited
Yes.
to go make your avatar?
I'm excited. Mine has red hair.
Of course.
I want a team of redheads.
That tribe of redheads.
That'd be amazing.
Searching.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, Kelly. Thank you. And I'm so curious to see your post about your phone. Love you guys. Can't wait to see your avatars. Thanks for having on. Bye.